स्वर्ग से सजा नजारा। हाँ मनाओ दिवाली आज दिल खोल के, जन्मभूमि के लाल राम आए हैं। राम आए हैं, आए हैं, राम आए हैं। राम आए हैं, आए हैं, राम आए हैं।
कोई नहीं आ देखो बस आगे।
विष्णु महेश देखने आए आगमन तुम्हारा। आज अयोध्या की धरती पे स्वर्ग से सजा नजारा। हाँ मनाओ दिवाली आज दिल खोल के, जन्मभूमि के लाल राम आए हैं। राम आए हैं, आए हैं, राम आए हैं। राम आए हैं, आए हैं, राम आए हैं।
नमस्कार दर्शकों, MATV चैनल 711 पर आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। हमारा कार्यक्रम सद्भावना संदेश हर रविवार सायं 8:30 से 9:30 तक इस चैनल पर प्रसारित किया जाता है और इस कार्यक्रम का उद्देश्य है कि जो नैतिक हमारी धार्मिक वैल्यूज़ हैं, ये कार्यक्रम उन पर आधारित होता है। तो आए, सबसे पहले मैं इंट्रोडक्शन करवाना चाहता हूँ। हमारे साथ जय शर्मा जी हैं। जय जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
नमस्कार दर्शकों।
और दर्शकों, हमारे साथ आज बड़े ही खास मेहमान आए हुए हैं। वी गॉट डेड्रा कॉस्टिगन, काउंसलर एंड डेप्टी लीडर ऑफ ईलिंग लेबर पार्टी, and we are going to have a discussion with her. We will put all your questions you have sent it to us and discussions, and we will listen to you. What are your plans if and when you become MP from Ealing Southall? That will be little later on. But let me start our program with a universal prayer which we say in our temple all the times. हे नाथ सब सुखी हो, कोई न हो दुखारी, सब हो निरोग भगवन, धन धान्य के भंडारी। सब भद्र भाव देखें, सन्मार्ग के पथिक हों, दुखिया न कोई होवे, सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। दुखिया न कोई होवे, सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। So this is a universal prayer where we are saying and praying for well-being of everyone in this universe. We are saying, hey God, there should nobody suffer from any of these obstacles or difficulties, and everybody should have goodwill toward each other, and they should go on righteous path. That was our universal prayer. So दर्शकों, इस सप्ताह सबसे पहले तो मैं सभी को बधाई देना चाहता हूँ कि इंडिया हैज़ वन T20 World Cup yesterday.
जी, it was indeed.
So I don't know whether you are aware or not. So it was a big moment, historic moment yesterday. We were watching live TV, It was very tense match,
Very tense.
and at one stage, it looks like that South Africa will easily
They were, yeah,
win this match.
yeah.
But I think as a teamwork and team plan, Indian team worked very hard, and they won the match and the trophy as well. So throughout all the matches, India hasn't lost to
Single, yeah.
any team.
Yeah.
So they are well worthy of this trophy. So although India has won the match, but our sincere sympathy with South Africa as well, because they played really, really well. And Jaji, as a matter of fact, that's the way it should be.
It should be.
True sports personality, true sportsmanship, that you appreciate the game rather than the team. Because if, for example, South Africa has won, we would have same feeling and same respect for them as well. So sportsmanship is, I think, extremely important in that one.
Yeah, yeah. We had actually given hope.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was so much tense, and sort of they had given up.
Yeah.
After the 18th over, the game changed.
Yeah.
When Bumrah came, he not only took wicket, but he constrained, he limited the number of runs being given. So that was the biggest turning point. And we have received so many messages that Surya Yadav, he became Surya Indian, Surya Bhartiya. Once he took that
Catch.
remarkable catch, that was turning point, and many have started saying him instead of Surya Yadav, Surya Bhartiya. So he has become really Bhartiya. He's made really remarkable catch. That was also turning point. Otherwise, the player sat there. He was playing very, very well.
And also with this, win, three of our pillars of Indian cricket, Rahul Dravid,
Yeah,
our captain Rohit Sharma, and senior most player Virat Kohli,
Yeah.
they have announced they have taken retirement from T20 version of the cricket.
yeah.
So once again, congratulations to Indian team and to actually all the cricket lovers all over the world. And I must say that it was first time the matches were arranged or tournament was arranged first time in
America.
USA, and including all these West Indies.
Yeah, yeah,
So that well done to them as well.
yes.
Right. The other congratulations were to Shree Arun Thakurji. He had his birthday, and we celebrated Arunji's birthday in Shree Ram Mandir.
Yesterday.
And all the trustees, all the devotees, they were gathered, and we had a very, very nice time. And lastly, we attended marriage of our dear nephew Sanjay Tha
Yeah,
and Natasha Tha. Sanjay is son of our executive member Sarvesh ji, and we had some photographs of that marriage which we attended last night. That's Sanjay and Natasha. Very nice photograph there. And that's a group of all our guests, including Sarvesh ji. And I think there's one more picture if we can see. Yeah. We had a lovely time there.
yeah.
And as a matter of Brinder Sharma ji is there as well. He is everywhere. So, UK Sharma ji, Brinder Sharma ji. So, congratulations to
Sanjay.
Tha Parivar, and we wish the new couple very well. So, as I was saying earlier on, general elections are coming on 4th of July, Thursday, not many days are left. We have been telling our viewers that does not matter which party you support or what are your views, main thing is you should get politically engaged. You should have registered your vote, and after that period is gone, next thing is on Thursday 4th of July, please make an effort, go out and use your right to vote. Voting will be open from 7 o'clock in the morning, and polling booth will be remain open up till 10 o'clock at night time.
Yeah.
So you can't have excuse that I am on shift work, I couldn't go that time or this time. So you got plenty of time, more than 15 hours.
Yeah, nearly. Yeah.
And one thing I would request people is, please take ID with you. This is something new. Sometimes people do go there. When they are asked for the ID, they haven't got ID, they get disappointed. Sometimes they argue. Sometimes they say, okay, I'm not going to vote, this. So this is no good. Please do remember, take ID with you, otherwise it's your own loss.
Yeah.
If you are not voting. So we got our guest, Deirdre Costigan. Welcome to our Sadbhavana Sandesh program. I know you have been very, very active within Labour Party. You are deputy leader of the Ealing Council at the moment, and you are also a national officer at Unison, which is one of the trade union, very well known trade union. And one of the, with your efforts, you are able to change national policy on disabled, so that during this COVID period, they can do work from home. So can I just welcome you and invite you to say little bit about yourself before we come to other discussions.
Great, yeah, and thank you so much. I'm really delighted to be asked onto your programme this evening. And as you say, I'm Deirdre Costigan, and I'm standing to be the new MP for Ealing Southall. Our current MP, of course, is Mr. Virendra Sharma, who many people will know very well. He's now retiring, so I'm standing to be the new Labour MP on Thursday, the 4th of July. So, as you say, my background is I came to this country from Ireland. I'm from Ireland, from Dublin, capital city of Ireland, and I came to this country to finish my studies and to get a job, as really many people in Southall have done, or their parents have done. So I had a similar experience, but maybe not so far away as some people have come. And I came here and I got involved in the trade union. And as you say, I now work full-time for the trade union. And a lot of my job was taken up with negotiating for better pay, often for women workers. The union I work for, Unison, is the biggest trade union in the UK, and it has 1.3 million members, and 1 million of those members are women. And many of them are low-paid women, often in social care or working in schools, in low-paid jobs in schools, classroom assistant. And I helped those women to be paid properly and to make sure that they weren't getting paid less than men doing a similar job. I also represented Black and Asian workers who sometimes were bullied by their bosses or maybe threatened with being sacked just because of their race or the colour of their skin. And as you say, during the COVID pandemic, I lobbied the government, spoke to the government to help people who were disabled and were afraid to go to work in case they got COVID and maybe died from COVID. People were very scared of going to work. And I persuaded the government to change the rules so disabled people could stay at home and they could work from home. And I also got the government to invest millions of pounds in help for disabled people working from home. So new computers, desks, chairs, so people could work from home safely and not be put at risk by having to go to work. So since then, I got involved in the Labour Party because I see that there are so many barriers against people progressing in life. And the Labour Party is all about equality. And equality is very, very important to me. So I became a councillor for the Labour Party in Ealing, where I live. And I then became deputy leader of Ealing Council. And I've done that job for the last 3 years. And in that job, one of the things I've done just very recently is I know there is often problems with parking in Southall town centre. And so just in the last 2 months, I have changed the parking in Ealing so that instead of the private contractor being in charge of parking, the council is now in charge of parking. So I ended the contract with the private business, and it's now run by the council. And we have taken on 20 new officers to enforce parking in Ealing. And I'm going to make sure that those officers are focused on Southall and that we also have evening enforcement. So we have parking officers going out at night, stopping people from parking on the pavement, because I know it's a problem. So that's a really big thing, I think, that I've done just in the last month or two, made that change as deputy leader of the council. Those staff are being trained up at the moment, so we should see an improvement in parking in Southall very soon. So that's a little bit about my background, and now I want to bring that same fight, that same belief in equality to standing up for Ealing Southall as your MP in Parliament.
Very nice. I think, you mentioned about disabled people. I think it's life-changing for some of them if they can, have the facilities and the equipment to work at home. This is in real terms, that people can feel it. I have many questions regarding, this Southall, but you mentioned about this parking that you have brought in-house.
Yes.
It means Ealing can actually intervene.
Yes.
Because as far as I am concerned, parking is not only an enforcing issues, is also sometimes, these enforcement officers are human beings, and sometimes they do mistake as well.
Yeah.
And I think, I hope with in-house, parking services, if there is mistake done by them as well, it will be easy to review.
Yeah.
Because if before, I think we had the experience.
Many times it has happened that when people make representation on the PCN sheet, the result majority of the time, rather all the times, would be, sorry, your appeal has been we carefully considered and it has been rejected, and you must pay, we allow you to pay within the original amount, £40, or if it was 80 within 14 days, what you have paid, would have paid, so that you can still pay that. But they never considered any circumstances put forward by the person who got the PCN. So it is good, that's good, and I think it should have been one of the questions Umeji had prepared about parking. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We welcome that. Yeah.
Great. And the other thing that we're doing is we've also brought in, just in the last couple of months, body-worn camera, so that when you have an officer, they have a camera on their uniform, so that we're able to see exactly where was the car parked and was the ticket correctly issued. So that should address the problem that you've raised. It should really improve that issue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
I
good.
think clear message should be that yes, we are enforcing irregularities in park. We do not want people should park on pavement where we cannot walk. I have seen many a time I have to forced to walk onto road
Yeah.
because the car is taking 80% of the pavement,
Yeah.
and there are so many disabled or partially sighted
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I think if we can give the clear message that look, it's not money making machines or our department, it is just to enforce illegal parking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That will reassure, our Southall resident, because as I said, sometimes they do, issue, I don't want to go into individual cases, but I'm just saying that we should have a clear message that they are here to enforce illegal parking, but not a collecting money machine.
It's a revenue generating. It's
Yeah.
not revenue
No.
generating. But it would have been the case when it was privately governed.
Yeah.
But now, since council has taken, they don't have vested interest,
Yeah.
other than making ease for the public,
Exactly. We want to make sure that people are able to travel through Southall without getting stuck in lots of traffic that's created by bad parking.
Yeah.
So that's what the council is trying to do now that we've got the service back in-house. We can make sure that we can stop that happening and there's a better free flow of traffic through Southall. And the issue that you said, pedestrians can walk up and down the road without having their way blocked.
But are there any plans for, where there is a very shortage of parking places? Are there any plans to improve, parking facilities as well? Any new park or any parkways, along?
So those kind of issues would be for the council to look at, and obviously I'm now hoping to stand to be the MP for Ealing Southall, and it would be my job to lobby the council and to speak to the council to say, we perhaps need to look at parking in Southall, we need to review the need for parking in Southall, but at the end of the day, the decision about that is a council matter. So they would take that decision.
I can understand that. Right. My initial question is, you said Vrinder Sharma is going to retire, and that's it was a very sudden and shocking news for Southall residents.
Yes.
I mean,
For all of us,
for
yes. Yeah.
2 days before, Vrinder Sharma ji was hoping that he will be representing us. So I know you have been living in Ealing, but particularly in Southall, in your views, what are the main problems? I have a big list, but I'm just asking you, in your observation, what are the main problems you are aware in Southall, and how you intend to ease them?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, on Mr. Sharma, I think it's really important to say that he has 17 years. He has represented us in Parliament, so I think it is sad to see him go. But he has given overall 50 years of service to this community as a councillor previously and then as MP, and yes, it was a surprise to all of us, but I think he has done it for that long. I think he felt it was time for a rest and to do something different. But so in terms of Ealing Southall and what I think the issues are, of course you've touched on one of them. Parking is something that people raise with me all the time, but we've discussed that. I think another issue is the litter that we see on the streets in the town centre. Southall town centre is an amazing place. It's vibrant, it's full of bustle and hustle and bustle. It's a great business centre, but it is let down by litter on the streets and also by some antisocial behaviour. So litter on the streets and fly tipping, I think we need to treat that on a national level. We need to treat fly tipping just like it's organised crime. Sometimes it is run by criminal groups, and we need to go after those criminal groups. So they pretend to people that they're going to dispose of their rubbish in a legal way. They go around to someone's house and they say, give me £10, I will take away your rubbish. It's all legal, it's all fine. But that's not what they do. They dump it on the side of our roads. They dump it on roads in Ealing Southall. And they're businesses, but they're criminal businesses. So we need to go after them. So if I'm elected, that is something that I will be pushing the Labour Party to do, to treat those people as criminals and to go after them. And we must also give councils the power to crush their vehicles. So when they use trucks to take away this rubbish and then they drop it on the street, we should take those vehicles, give power to councils so that they can crush them. Within 24 hours, 48 hours, no waiting around, just crush those vehicles. We have to do that if we're going to make a difference for Southall. I think the other area, as I said, is antisocial behaviour. We do see a lot of that in Southall at the moment. And one of the reasons we see it is because we've had 14 years of Conservative government who have reduced and reduced and reduced the number of police officers on the streets. We know now if your house is burgled and you phone up to tell the police, you're lucky if a police officer comes to see you. Mostly, no one will come to see you. Nobody comes when you call. You don't see police walking along the street. And it's the same in Southall. But the Labour Party, if Labour gets elected, we will invest in policing and we will take on 13,000 new police officers and police community support officers. If people remember back, under the last Labour government, in 2010, up until 2010, there were 6 dedicated police and community support officers in every single ward. So 6 for Southall Broadway, 6 for Southall Green, 6 for Lady Margaret. They all had 6 police officers and community support officers, and they were dedicated to that ward. But when the Conservatives took over the government, they took away all the funding, and now the most we get is maybe 1 police officer, maybe 1.5, and they're not dedicated anymore. They get pulled out to Brent or to Harrow or to Central London, and they don't stay in Lady Margaret or in Southall Broadway. So Labour will bring back community policing. So we have those local police officers and community support officers back in each and every ward in Southall. And I think that's what we need to do to make a difference for Southall Town Centre.
That's very comprehensive answer, and I will comment on the solutions you have had in mind. But it's time for our little break, Darshko. So we'll see you soon. It's just starting. We are just hotting up. So see you after little break. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
पहले मैं ऐसी दिखती थी 3 साल पहले। अब इस बीमारी के बाद से एकदम मैं ऐसी हो गई हूँ। पहले मेरी बच्ची बहुत सुंदर और हंसमुख थी।
वक्त उसकी खूबसूरती को मिटा गया। दीपा की दोनों किडनियां खराब हो गईं।
डायलिसिस पे मेरी तबीयत हर बार बिगड़ती है, पानी भी नहीं पी पाती हूँ। डॉक्टर ने कहा है कि आप जल्द से जल्द ट्रांसप्लांट करा लीजिए, वरना आपके साथ कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है आगे, शायद आप ट्रांसप्लांट के भी लायक ना रहें।
किडनी की बीमारी का असर धीरे धीरे लीवर पर भी होने लगा।
10 लाख रुपए बताए हैं। एक ही दुकान है छोटी सी किराए की, जिस पे प्रसाद बेचते हैं। जो कमाई होती है उससे घर चलता है मुश्किल से। काफ़ी कर्जा भी कर लिया है। मैं अपनी किडनी दूंगी अपनी बच्ची को।
मैं चाहती हूँ आप लोग मेरी मदद करें और ताकि मेरे को एक नया जीवन मिले, मैं अच्छी लाइफ जी सकूँ। हम उदयपुर गए और उन्होंने हमारी गंगाराम में ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए जो पैसे दिए उससे हमारी हेल्प हुई।
किडनी देने के लिए डॉक्टर ने बोला, मेरे मन में जरा भी कुछ नहीं आया। बच्चे को जीवन मिल रहा है माँ से तो कोई बुरी बात नहीं है।
अब मुझे अपनी लाइफ में मौका मिला है कि मैं जो भी मैंने स्टडी की है उसका मैं फ़ायदा उठा सकूं। अब मैं जॉब भी कर सकती हूं और अपने लिए कुछ काम भी कर सकती हूं।
दीपा की गुम होती खुशियां वापस लौट आईं।
मेरी बच्ची को नया जीवन मिल गया है और उससे मैं बहुत खुश हूँ और अब हम माँ बेटी बिल्कुल ठीक हैं।
नहीं तो हम तो उम्मीद खो ही चुके थे हर तरह से, काफ़ी हर तरह से मतलब केयरिंग के बाद अब दीपा हमारे साथ है।
जिन लोगों ने भी मेरी हेल्प की है उन लोगों को भी मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कहना चाहती हूँ कि उन्होंने मेरी लाइफ को मतलब बचाया, मुझे ज़िंदगी जीने का दोबारा मौका दिया।
हमारा नाम अंजनेल है, हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट महबूब नगर, तेलंगाना। हमारा ये पूरा ये तकलीफ हो गया, इधर कट करते बोल रहा है हैदराबाद से, इधर कट करते कि हमारा काम करने के कैसे आएगा सब।
उदयपुर आते ही ऐसा लगा मानो कोई अपना मिल गया हो। गरीब, बीमारी, कष्टग्रस्त आंजनेय का हुआ जटिल सफल ऑपरेशन।
हमारा ये बीमार है, हमारा कि इतना मोटा पैर है सर, इतना बीमार रहता है वो निकल गया। उधर वो नारायण सेवा संस्था मुंबई के भेज देते उधर ऑपरेशन कर दिया। हमारा 4 लाख रुपए खर्च हो गया। वो नारायण सेवा संस्था 4 लाख रुपए खर्च दिया साहब। अब 25 किलो वजन है, वो पूरा निकल गया। अब के इपड़ पूरा बीमार पूरा खत्म हो गया सर।
हस्बैंड पैर अंजनेलू, इतना पैर मोटा है, मुंबई से ऑपरेशन काट दिया।
हमारा काम करने के चलने के अच्छा आएगा, अगर खोदने के दिक्कत नहीं है, हमारे चलने के अच्छा है।
मेरे बच्ची के बचपन से समस्या है कि ये सुन नहीं पाती है, तो 5 साल पहले इसका ऑपरेशन हुआ था, कोक्लियर इम्प्लांट नाम का। तो इसका बाहर का मशीन है जो ख़राब हो चुका है। अभी डॉक्टर कहते हैं कि आपको खुद लेना पड़ेगा, जो कि कीमत इसकी 2,70,000 के आसपास बता रहे हैं। नारायण सेवा संस्था के जरिए मेरी बच्ची को सुनने का मौका मिलेगा और उसका भविष्य सुधर जाएगा।
आप लोगों से निवेदन है, आप मेरी बहन की मदद कीजिए ताकि इसका इलाज हो सके।
नमस्कार दर्शकों, छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद हम सद्भावना संदेश कार्यक्रम में फिर वापस आए हैं। आज हमारे साथ डियाड्रा कोस्टिगन जो कि ईलिंग काउंसिल की डिप्टी लीडर हैं और हमारे ईलिंग साउथ हॉल से लेबर पार्टी की ओर से कैंडिडेट हैं, हमारे साथ बातचीत कर रहे हैं। मैंने आपके बिहाफ पर कई क्वेश्चन उनसे ऑलरेडी पूछे हैं और अभी जो और क्वेश्चन हैं उनके बारे में हम उनके विचार सुनेंगे और देखेंगे। बिफोर आई गो बैक टू साउथ हॉल सिचुएशन अगेन, few weeks ago all the major Hindu organization UK wide, there were about 12 Hindu Council UK is one of them, and Jayaji is representing, Arunji is representing National Council of Hindu Temples.
Yeah.
We produced a
Manifesto.
Hindu manifesto, which is issues more related to our community. I know there are some common issues, but there are some certain issues which are only related to Hindu community. I'm just going to ask you, have you seen that or have you gone through that manifesto?
Yes, I have. I have read the manifesto, and I've also met with representatives of Insight UK and the Hindu Council, and we've talked through. We met for about an hour and a half, I think, maybe, to talk about all of the different requests in the manifesto. We particularly talked about hate crime. And I have reassured the Hindu Council and Insight UK that I very much believe that we need to equalise hate crime. The Labour Party believes that hate crime should be treated equally for faith and for all of the other kinds of hate crime that we see. Of course, like I said earlier, the problem we have at the moment is there's not enough police to actually do anything about hate crime. So we do need to, first of all, make sure we have that investment in 13,000 extra police officers. But I do believe in making sure that we have equality when it comes to faith-based hate crime. The other issue we discussed was faith schools. And again, the Labour Party has said that we very much support faith schools. And we will not be making any changes to faith schools. We support faith schools. I went to a faith school myself. I went to a Catholic school, a convent school in Ireland, and I know how valuable that education and the ethos of that faith school was to me in my life. And another area that I discussed with the Hindu Council and Insight UK was about how slow it is in this country when people pass away. When a family member dies, and you in your community and in many other communities would like it to be much quicker, but it's so slow. Again, I'm from Ireland. In Ireland, you are buried within 2 or 3 days. If they can do that in Ireland, why can't they do it in the United Kingdom? I don't understand why. So I talked in detail about that, and that's something that I will certainly push and see how can we make changes to make it easier when a family has lost a loved one and then has all the stress of trying to arrange a funeral. When everything is so slow, so much bureaucracy. I think that's something we should be able to make a difference. They can do it in other countries. I don't understand why we can't do it here.
Yeah, no, we have the same custom like the other communities have. If somebody dies during the daytime, by the evening, before sun sets, they need to be cremated. And if they die in the night time, they need to be cremated as early as in the next morning. So, but here, as you said, that it takes a very long 10 days, 15 days to arrange that. The other thing, the hate crime that we just talked. We want it to be classified as a criminal, any against Hindus. That's what the manifesto says. It should be, and we expect that once if you come into the power, you should treat that and make that regulation, as a criminal. If any hate crime, So,
no, I'm very glad that you have actually gone through and seen the Hindi manifesto. You have had discussions with Insight and Hindu Council UK's representative as well. This is, I think, very reassuring to our Hindu community that when and if needed, we can approach you to represent us on these issues, because as you are aware, Hindu community, almost just over 1 million Hindus in United States United Kingdom at the moment, and mostly very peace loving, minding their own business, bringing lot of money in ways of paying revenue, taxes and things like this, and creating hundreds and thousands of jobs locally
Yes.
Whether this factory on a small scale, like
in IT sector, they are dominating, and they earn more and they contribute more in the form of revenues. And when it comes to crime, they are very, very little, less than 1%. And they are educated, they are innovative. They have been, you can see in the policy makings and innovations. All the in medicine, doctors. There are many doctors, ITs. They are working well. So we want them. I mean, not extraordinarily be treated, but equally.
Yes.
At least.
Oh yes, completely.
So this is what we would be expecting if Labour comes into the power.
I think this is very reassuring and very happy that you have gone through these points, and it will certainly satisfy most of our colleagues who are asking that these questions should be put to our candidates. Right, coming back to Southall, we have seen all these sky touching buildings all over the place, especially near Southall station now, and on the other side this Brent Road as well, on Beaconsfield Road. As a matter of fact, wherever we see any small piece of land, there are buildings coming, and they're not affordable either. I mean, starting point in some of them is £500,000. So I have two questions for you. What are Labour government, if comes, planning, because they're increasing buildings, there is no facilities like hospitals or playground or parking or anything. That's one. And the other thing is when real affordability will come. I don't think £500,000 is affordable. So what are your views on these developments?
Yeah, I mean, as a councillor, all of the time I have residents contacting me, and they tell me about their housing problems. We have people who are living in homes that are overcrowded. Maybe 4 or 5 children and mum and dad. Sometimes they're sharing all of the children in the same room, or the mum and dad in the same room with the children. So there's lots of overcrowding, particularly in Southall. We also have homes that have mould, homes that are cold, lots of problems with housing. So it's really, really important that we invest in new housing, that we build new homes. And in Ealing, there are 8,000 people on the housing list. 8,000 people looking for somewhere to live. And of course, you see people sleeping on the streets in Southall. There are people sleeping on the streets. There were people sleeping outside of the town hall in Ealing Broadway. And we must make sure that that stops. The only way to address that is to build more homes. And Labour has said that we will invest in 1.5 million new homes. And for Southall, that should mean that those people that call me, the 8,000 people on the housing list in Ealing, that they have the chance of a home. But like you say, they have to be affordable homes. We want to bring back council homes, proper council housing.
As they used to.
Yes, exactly, as there used to be. Social homes that people can afford to rent, because now so many people are in the private rented sector. They have a private landlord, no council, it's so difficult to get council housing these days. So we will build council housing again. And we will also, where we're building homes that are for sale, we will give first dibs for first-time buyers. So if you're new, you're young, you haven't bought a home before, we will give you the first option to buy local homes. So for Southall, it will mean homes that we build in Southall will be open, first of all, to people who live in Southall. So it will mean that people's children will have the chance to stay in Southall and not have to move out.
That's very important,
But as you say, it's also really important that we have the services that go along with the housing. And you mentioned hospitals. We know that after 14 years of the Conservative government, it's almost impossible to get a GP's appointment. It's really difficult to get any help from the NHS. There's 7 million people on the waiting list for operations and to see consultants in the NHS. And that's why Labour, we're saying that one of our number one priorities is to invest in 40,000 more appointments every week in the NHS. That's 2 million appointments every year in the NHS, because you can't build housing without making sure that you have the health facilities there. Also our schools. Our schools in Ealing are good. They are good. But like everywhere in the country, we're having to rely on supply teachers, temporary teachers, and many of them are teaching subjects like maths when they've got no qualifications in maths. And again, Labour wants to invest in properly qualified new teachers for all of our schools. So we need the good schools, we need the hospitals, and we need the police if we're going to have new housing. So Labour wants to make sure we have those facilities, and we're not just building homes in deserts with nothing nearby to support people in their lives. And in my job in the council, I did a lot of work on opening new parks. We want to have a new regional park right down the centre of Ealing, going all the way from Horsenden Hill up in the north of Ealing, so that you can walk all the way down to Warren Farm and Osterley Park in the south of Ealing. And that's what we need as well. If we're going to have new homes, we need new parks too, and that's what Ealing Council is doing and what I did in my job with Ealing Council.
Very, very comprehensive answer on these issues. When you're talking of parks, I think I just want to mention that there are issues in various parks and grounds as well, especially in recreation ground, which is in Southall. There are no locks at night time. People can walk, come back 24 hours in that park, and I think they should be checked. And other issue which is related to park, but also as a general problem in Southall is, because when a lot of visitors they come to visit Southall, they haven't got any toilet facilities. And I think people sometimes do laugh that what we are asking, what we are talking of, but this is a real issue. When you are coming from 1 hour journey from Elizabeth line or whatever, then there's no sign of toilets at all. So what would you say about that one, please?
Yes, so I think Southall it's an international shopping centre, isn't it? It's not just a local shopping centre, it's international. And I suppose it's a bit like, Westfield Shopping Centre, except it's outdoors. And Westfield Shopping Centre has a toilet, so it makes sense. Now, it is something that I know Ealing Council is working on, and there are plans to open a new toilet in Ealing Southall, and I'll very much support the council in opening a toilet in Southall town centre. But I think it's also important to support the businesses in the town centre, and that's something I really want to champion if I'm elected as an MP, because I think some of the businesses are really suffering. They're suffering in the same way that everyone's suffering, because their bills have gone up too. Their energy bills have gone up, just like everyone else's energy bills have. And the rent that they pay for their shops has gone up. And they pay business rates, which is really expensive. So what the Labour Party wants to do is to review business rates, because at the moment it's not fair. If you are an online shop, you don't pay the same amount. So it's unfair on high street shops. So we're going to review that to make sure that shops on the high street, shops in Southall, pay less money. And we also want to set up Great British Energy, which will be a green energy company that will produce environmentally friendly energy based on renewable energy, which will be cheaper And that will mean not only us in our homes, but also the shops on the high street will pay lower bills. And I think all of that will help Southall town centre to thrive. But there's more work to do, and I want to bring all of the businesses together in Southall and see what we can do to help them to become a really thriving centre of business for the whole country and internationally.
Well, this is very sweet music to our ears. You know, the plans you have outlined, and your commitment is really heartening, you know, and that take me to the issue of your availability, how people can approach you. Are you planning to have some kind of your office like Brindarji have already in Southall, and how can we easily approach you, because Southall is a bit different. It's not like other MPs, you know, where you can say, oh, send me email, do me this, do me that. It's a changing. Are you aware of that? And what are your reassurances to Southall resident about your availability, please?
Yeah. No, you're right. People in Southall want to actually talk to you direct, don't they? They don't want to just send an email. And that's great. That's what I love about Southall. And even in the last few weeks, while I've been campaigning in Southall, people come up to me on the street all the time. They come up to me in the shops all of the time, and they just want to talk, and that's brilliant. So I will be available for local people. I will make sure that I have an office. So if I'm elected on Thursday, it all depends if I get elected. But if I am elected on Thursday, I will open an office in Southall town centre, and I will continue, like Mr. Sharma did, to have a surgery so people can come in and speak to us. And you know, we have Punjabi speakers as well, because my Punjabi is not very good. So we will have Punjabi speakers for people, and I will continue to be available. My number will be public, my phone number, so people can phone me. And I will very much welcome people walking up to me on the Broadway to talk to me in the street, wherever they want to talk to me.
Right. And also I can say on this our program that if people have any problem, they can directly come to us as well. We will also act as a bridge between, like we are doing it at the moment. So we will be passing on people's issue to you as well.
We had list of all the candidates.
We are going to do that. That's necessary that everybody should be aware. So can I ask you if you can share the list of all the candidates from Ealing Southall, please?
Because we met few, last time we had.
That's fine, no problem at all. So
this is the list of all.
That is the list of all the 12 candidates in Ealing Southall, and we wish them all the best. But main thing, again, my request is, please, on 4th of July, go out, vote, and take your ID with you. Deirdre, thank you so much for coming to our program and tackling our viewers' various questions in a very open and honest way. And we wish you best and hope to see you very soon. That's our best wishes are with you. So दर्शकों, आज हमारे पास इतना ही समय था कि हम आपके जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो कैंडिडेट्स तक लेके जाएं। तो आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नेक्स्ट वीक हम किसी और इशू के साथ आप सबके समक्ष सद्भावना कार्यक्रम लेके आएंगे। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय श्री राम।
जय श्री राम।